Hi! I'm here again. I usually don't stream on Thursdays, but I can't stream tomorrow, so I gotta be here today. Yeah, we're gonna play more Genshin. I haven't finished the quest yet, so I'm gonna keep doing that. We finished the investigation thing. I don't know what's gonna happen next. Me and my friends have been discussing some theories. I guess I could share my theories. Give me just a second. I'm gonna launch. I'm gonna start getting the game ready. Gotta stop this. And what? There's an what? Fuck. I updated the game yesterday. What do you mean fucking verifying file integrity? Guess we'll just sit here and wait. I hate it here, bro. I didn't realize there was like an update going on. I just launched the game and I was like, it's fine. No, there's a fucking thing. Ah, this sucks. Well, okay. I'm gonna share my theories while I'm at it. While we wait, I guess. Let me just look at them again. So, okay, so Lenny is on trial for murder. Is gonna be on trial for murder. Because apparently he, like, people are saying he killed his associate, and also made a girl disappear, like, kidnapped a girl or something. Because she disappeared, and it's, like, related to the big case of, like, missing women that has been going on for 20 years. First of all, that girl in the audience who got caught into it and disappeared, she's the thief that we saw at the start of the Archon quest that Lenny was trying to go after. Like, I'm sure of that 100%. She's not wearing the same clothes, but she has like the same hairstyle, same like hair color, same eyes, you know. The NPCs have all have the same face, but I don't think I think it's intentional. So, this has to make sense at some point. They haven't addressed it. Lenny is like pretending that he doesn't know her, which is weird. So, I don't know, he might be hiding something from us. I don't think he did it. I think he's being framed. Someone else did sabotage the whole setting. Or the rope was weird, so that's why. I don't think he did it. I think he was framed, and that someone sabotaged him. The girl, because then they mentioned if it's not Lenny, it has to be like a third person who made the girl, like who kidnapped the girl or something. I think she disappeared by herself. That's my theory, and I don't really know how to explain it. I feel like she just escaped through the vent or something. Like, she went in the basement. They said there was no one in the basement. I don't know if I want to believe that. I don't know. You know? I'm just thinking there's some kind of hidden stuff going on, and I'm a little, wary of certain characters, you know? I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm sure I'll find out today. I know there's like 2 Archon quests, and I'm probably gonna be able to finish the first one today. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish to do the second one. I still have to go to bed early tonight. At like midnight, which is early. So yeah, I'm not gonna... But yeah, this is making me late. This is bullshit. God, why is it doing that now? Yeah, well, so far I really love, I mean, most of the characters, but I would say so far my favorites are Navia and Fremine. I mean, we haven't seen much of Fremine so far. Like, he had like 3 minutes of screen time. I'm sure he's gonna be way more important as time goes by and as the quest goes on. Maybe not this one, but maybe the one after. I don't know. I don't know. I like Neuvillette also. Neuvillette. He's cool. He reminds me of Zhongli. I don't think he's a bad guy at all. People have been saying when the trailer happened, they were like, "Oh, he's like not on our side," but I don't know. I mean, his reaction to the whole thing is perfectly reasonable. You know, he's Chief Justice, of course. He doesn't want a murderer to escape. I got bit by a mosquito again. This shit sucks. Here we go. I have mosquito bites pretty much everywhere on my body. I wear shorts in the evening because it's like really hot in my room. So I don't wear pants, I just wear shorts. But then my legs are like uncovered for the mosquito to just come and bite me. And no, I do not have, how do you call those things that you put at your windows to prevent mosquitoes from coming in? I don't know what those are called, but I don't have that, and I don't think I can install them on the windows that I have. So this kind of sucks. Then they just come in whenever they want. When I have my window open, which I did because, you know, I had my window open all day because it was hot, and I didn't wanna. New recipe! Fruity do it. Oh, that's Kazuskara. Details of fruity smoothie. Okay, well, I like that. Wait for 8 AM. We will do that. We'll sleep here in the opera. As one does. Hold on a second.
No need to exchange pleasantries.
Oh,
it's rather pathetic to force a conversation just to occupy silence.
It's very hard to get comfortable when it's so hot. Like, I don't feel comfortable in any way I'm sitting, and it just sucks, my dude. I hate it. We're gonna do a trial, I guess, like an Ace Attorney. Participate in the trial. Oh man, this is gonna be crazy.
What do we do? The whole situation is so confusing.
Can you take off those stupid glasses? I do have some thoughts, but let's take things step by step.
Good plan. Impossible things don't just happen. We'll get to the truth one way or another.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lenny and Lynette, at least we will be supporting them from the stands. Besides, I doubt Farina understands any more about what happened than we do.
Thanks, Navia. Well, we'll be going then.
Best of luck to you.
No, you're not gonna stand next to me like an Ace Attorney. You're not gonna stand by my side and help me, Navia. God damn it. It's gonna be fucking Paimon instead. Lenny.
Finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
To be honest, you might be disappointed.
Everything points to you.
No. We're already very grateful that you were willing to help.
Well now, don't you all look disappointed? Don't tell me that your investigation came up empty-handed. That was to be expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof of their innocence, but don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed should you, my most anticipated foe, concede so easily.
Okay, just you wait.
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session.
Damn.
Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr. Linney explain the trick?
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary items have been prepared.
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that case, I take your statement to be that you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is this correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution, Lady Farina. Do you wish to refute his statement in any way?
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Lenny is clearly lying.
Objection!
There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at all.
What do you mean?
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were inside your box?
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that might leave an impression of any kind?
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count
there
reached
was the
30 seconds
thud.
or so, there was a thud. One so loud that
Oh.
I believe practically everyone heard it.
Right.
Huh?
Hey, hang on. Something's not right here.
Why didn't we talk about this with him first? Stupid.
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box and I definitely heard the thud.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
They probably represent the Oratrice's stand on the trial.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. Indeed, it seems his alibi can also collapse in the blink of an eye. Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid. Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
Why would she bring that up now?
The House of the Hearth?
They're Fatui? Oh, well, that doesn't mean anything. They could have...
No wonder they did something like this.
What the hell? It's just an orphanage. It's run by the Fatui, I guess, but that doesn't... Oh. I don't know, man.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatui's
Oh
doing.
my god, the way
Now it all makes
everybody
sense.
jumps to conclusions. This is just like Ace Attorney.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an accident.
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
They're not Fatui.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything that happened during that 1 minute. Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless your script already has holes in it. The Outlander is speechless.
I'm supposed to be defending.
Oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and discord, I suppose. This was almost too easy.
Listen, lady, I have a law degree.
Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
Hey, Linny, why didn't you tell us this before?
Linny and Lynette are Fatui. They're not!
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to re-establish the facts. Lady Farina has raised 2 points. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth. Are these claims true?
There's no doubt about a magician's ability to con others. Given how Lenny has concealed his identity, this could all have been set up beforehand. Plus, Child is here in Fontaine along with other house operatives. There must be some scheme at work here. I've been a victim of such schemes before, and now...
Please answer my question, Mr. Linney.
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
Damn, dude.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
What do you mean you knew it? No, you didn't.
Now!
Permission to speak, Your Honor.
Granted.
Objection! My client has withheld some key information. My defense cannot proceed.
In that case, what is your request?
I request a brief adjournment. There are things that must be discussed.
Is that really necessary? They're already as good as guilty.
Shut the fuck up!
The defendant deceived their own attorneys.
What is there left to discuss?
Order! Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn.
Thanks.
This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after knowing what you do now? You certainly have more professionalism than I thought. In that case, my dear audience, let's allow the joy of victory to steep for a little while longer.
Okay. You meet with Lenny and Leonard backstage in the Opera House. What the fuck was that?
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up. I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
Oh, the Fatui theme.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Paimon doesn't know where to start. We trusted you two. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys. Not to set the wrong tone or anything, but Paimon's really mad.
I'm very sorry. I know you're angry, and reasonably so, but please, let me explain. I know you've clashed with the Fatui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you upset. But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face.
Okay.
I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends.
So wait, are they straight up in the Fatui? I thought... I don't know why I was under the impression that they escaped the orphanage somehow, but I guess not.
That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details instead.
Well, I guess it makes sense because I don't know.
The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to.
But how can we know this is all just another lie?
Right. So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle to trust me at this point. You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. All by coincidence, too.
Wow.
But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no criminal. At least, not in this case.
Sorry. Please forgive us.
Well, you both say that, but...
Explain the other issue first. Where'd you actually go while the trick was being performed?
Right. Let's hear your answer first, and no lies now!
Of course. I'll answer any question you ask. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately? During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick, with the objective of getting close to the core.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room in which the core is stored.
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
What'd you find?
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, I heard someone's voice.
Okay.
Which should have been impossible, of course. I was quite certain that I was the only one in the room. That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way I came. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any thought. After that, the homicide occurred just as you saw.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
But why do you want to understand how the Oratrice operates?
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophesized crisis.
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. I swear, I didn't hide anything from you this time.
So they consider themselves Fatui. That's interesting. I didn't
It was
think
never
they
my
would.
wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust either. But like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust the Fatui, there's nothing I can do to stop you.
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
I believe in the facts. I will defend you from these charges.
Okay, thank you.
I know you didn't do it, Lenny.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly against you two. If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously watertight defense.
Actually, we already have the key evidence we need.
Huh?
The adjournment's almost over. Let's go back.
Oh, Paimon thinks she gets what you mean.
And he claims that he headed to the chamber containing the Ortree's core upon entering the tunnel, did not witness the crime taking place, and thus did not hear the thud. Okay. And then he claims to have heard a mysterious voice within the chamber that houses the Ortree's core within the Opera House's underground structures. Okay. Well,
Too slow.
that's very interesting.
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial. When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the events.
That took long enough. Now then, if everyone would lend me their attention at this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective.
Objection! Based on the opposition account of events, you can identify loopholes in their statements. Okay, well, let me pay attention to that. Opposition account of events, you can identify loopholes. Okay. Use evidence and clues obtained during the investigation to refute any erroneous assertions of fact and replace them with new interferences. Use your refutations to convince the audience and obtain more support from the people, or the oratrice will display such shifts clearly. When you find and refute all incorrect content, you can complete the cycle of refutation and unveil the truth. Oh my god, this is just like fucking...
As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel. When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud. He did not realize that this sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed earlier that he could not hear the sound. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out, before making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing her. At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and caught Linney red-handed. So Linney proceeded to knock him out too before stuffing him into that box. Afterward, Linney passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands, before operating the devices such that Cowell's death would be ruled an accident. And there you have it. That's the truth behind what happened.
She's talking way out of her ass
Does
right
the
now.
defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina's description of the...
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events, what Linney experienced, and what he saw.
Linney entered the tunnel as the countdown began. The loud sound was from Linney and Halsey's fight, but Linney claimed that he heard nothing in order to cover the truth up. Linney knocked Halsey out during using the vase and removed her clothes to prevent her from being identified. However, was Linney really in the tunnel at the time? Cowell walked in on Linney, so the latter knocked him out with the vase, leading to the victim's death. The existing evidence indicates that when Linney returned to the tunnel, the crime had already taken place, and all Linney saw was... Okay, so I don't think I have to do this in order. Okay. However, was Linney really in the tunnel at the time? No. Because he went to the basement.
Seems
Oh.
this...
I guess. What? I'm bad at this. Lenny and Halsey's fight. Bro, what the hell?
Lenny went to the room that contains
Like the other one
Oratrice's
also,
core.
I guess.
This is the actual truth.
Yes, alright.
According to Lenny, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. He couldn't have had that altercation with Halsey.
Yeah. The existing evidence indicates that when Lenny returned to the tunnel, the crime had already taken place. All that Lenny saw was the dress.
Lenny did not take part in the underground altercation. He only witnessed traces of the aftermath.
Attention! Ace Detective Paimon has something to say! When the countdown started, Lenny did indeed go into the tunnel, but he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is stored. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. Since he felt something was amiss, he returned immediately. The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again, and in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he's innocent!
Sick.
Paimon did it! Paimon actually managed to say all that! Wasn't it awesome?
It was pretty awesome.
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
That's right!
Moreover, I believe my opposition's reasoning is flawed.
My reasoning?
Objection! The onstage equipment was clearly tampered with in a premeditated fashion. However, you say that Kyle bumped into Lenny by chance. Yeah. Give Paimon the badge. Oh, so true. Should get the attorney badge right now. Hi, how are you? I hope you're doing well. How Sidious.
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill?
Exactly, what the hell? Welcome to the stream.
Assuming that what you say is true, Lenny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage be?
Exactly. It's Jace, new username. Oh, okay, hi Jace. How you doing?
Oh, they have a point.
I'm good, thank you. I'm enjoying this new quest.
That's right, you tell them! And that's why they're partners of mine. They've managed to turn things around.
Yeah, Navia, I'll do it for you.
Oh, well, your denial is very strident. I'll give you that.
Oh.
But what proof do you have to back your claims?
Do you happen to remember how you refuted Lenny's alibi initially?
Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not heard that sound? Why do you ask? You're saying that he wasn't?
Your claim has now become my weapon. Your claim has also become a critical clue. Which is the evidence that Lenny wasn't in the tunnel when the crime took place. Irrelevant. Okay, at least you're telling me what's relevant and what's not. Okay, let me think. No, that's not the one. Well, I'm not really sure what these three things have to do with what I'm trying to figure out, but maybe that's just because I'm bad at this.
That's right! Lenny wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything strange during the performance.
I guess.
This means that when the crime happened, Lenny had already entered the basement via the vent. The same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best proof! How do you like that?
Paimon, can you take off those stupid glasses?
Well played.
To think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Lenny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
The murder, what? The foot? Select the gear icon in the interface to check the corresponding case questions. Select answers and fill all the empty gears to verify the correctness of your deduction. If you have made a mistake, you must make another selection from the remaining options. Once you have answered all the questions correctly, you can complete this logic chain. The guard investigation report indicates that the fireworks released near the end of the show ignited and burned through the rope suspending the water tank above the stage. This caused the water tank to fall and kill Cowell in the box below. Farina destroyed with facts and logic. Yeah, she's so... I saw a bunch of people describe her as like girl failure, and I love that. But I love her though. Okay. If Lenny is no longer under suspicion, only the other members of the troupe would have been able to tamper with the props. Oh. Lenny gave a detailed account on how the trick was supposed to work. By using a box inside a box. The idea was for the box containing the audience member to be transported across via a tunnel underneath, and Lynette himself would also use this tunnel to get to the other side. Having changed her outfit, Lynette and her assistant would take charge of onstage interactions. The clothes belonging to Halsey, the lady who went missing, were found in the tunnel. The reason for this remains unknown. Who was the only person who could have possibly committed the crime? Well, it was her.
Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. Or did she have her own scheme all along?
I think she did have her own scheme. No? What the...
Could there have been a third person involved?
I guess. What? Cowell is dead!
The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
Oh, did he tamper with the equipment in the hopes of killing someone else? And it got turned on him? What? Sure, okay, what? Damn, I'm so bad at this.
That can't be right. Are you serious?
I don't know, man. I'm so bad at this because I picked the other two that were like wrong. I don't know.
The killer was, in fact, Cowell, the deceased!
So, I don't know, maybe he did tamper, but his intention was to kill somebody else?
Oh,
Lenny?
is that so? How interesting!
No.
Let's hear your reasoning.
No, that
then.
means he was trying to kill the lady, but why?
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim.
Oh my god, dude.
No one entered or left the Opera House through its entrances. So where would the criminal have wanted to take Halsey?
Yeah.
The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment.
Okay, how can we envisage Linny as having been unable to interfere with the crime?
Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel, so there must have been some fear that she would attract attention. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal.
I'm so confused though. Wasn't he on stage the whole time? He was on stage the whole time. What? I'm pretty sure he was. Right?
Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into Linny as well.
We know.
It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would... Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel, so there must have been some fear that she would attract attention. Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time.
Okay, that sounds right. How can I prove that there was an altercation in the tunnel while there's the dress? Who is the prime suspect currently?
Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel.
Where did the missing Halsey go?
No one entered or left the Opera House through its entrances. So where... The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into Linny as well. No one entered or left the Opera House through its entrance.
The prime suspect.
The deceased's name is Cowell.
Where'd the missing Halsey go? Well, that...
No one entered or left the Opera House through its entrances. So where would the criminal have wanted to take Halsey?
Okay.
No one entered or left the Opera House through its entrances. The sound we heard may have come from a... The sound we heard may have come from a clash. It would have been tough for both people to...
Okay, I'm stupid, apparently.
Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel, so there must have been some fear that she would attract attention.
I'm not sure how this indicates where she went, but okay. What the fuck? How? But it was incorrect. The criminal must have understood the method behind Linny's magic trick and must have been in a position to easily modify the equipment. Leaving aside how he died, Cowell had all the means to commit the crime at his disposal. The strange noise could likely have been the sound of Cowell and Halsey struggling. Linny was not in the tunnel for 1 minute. This would have given time for Cowell to bring Halsey out of the magic box in the audience stands. But according to the guard's testimony, no one entered or left the opera house, so even if he had taken her, there'd be no means of exiting. Exiting from the box would have been in full view of the audience, pretty much guaranteeing that they would be discovered.
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring things out?
Where in the world did Halsey go?
I see how it is. So this was all just a bluff. And here I thought...
Look, since we're at a dead end, just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly different from the magician's initial design.
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared.
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits, and none of them seem very likely. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear. You know, like you did from that water tank, Lynette.
Magic, escaping from the water tank. Wait, could it have been the water? What?
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents, but do you not see that the crowd
The
is
fuck are
growing
they talking
impatient?
about?
There is no greater sin in this opera house than an awkward delay in the performance.
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Objection! Hold on! Hold it!
Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time.
Yes?
The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the...
The what? What?
The vase was not broken by chance. It was used to cover important evidence. The water.
Oh, water, this fucking, it's water! What? What the fuck do you mean?
Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped.
Dude?
Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind.
But,
If there's a similar method where a person could be transformed into water...
Oh, just a moment, please. I do hope you know how preposterous you sound at the moment. How could a person ever be transformed into water? This is reality we're talking about here, not some magic trick.
I request that we examine Cowell's personal effects.
Must we really? I should think that of anyone. Your friend Linny already knows this truth very well. Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection. But Halsey's disappearance is very real. We're talking about two completely different things.
Even so, I trust the traveler's judgment.
Thanks.
The truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps a new line of reasoning may open if we try to gather all the focal points that don't make sense. Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope. The way I see it, your suggestion that we broaden the scope of our investigation is nothing but a tactic for stalling the trial.
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional evidence may help us make more progress.
He looks so cunty right here.
Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the
I love him. Yeah, what news?
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be shared with everyone post-haste.
What is
We
it?
discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage, each labeled separately. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are... water from the primordial sea.
The primordial sea.
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice.
Drugs? In my Genshin Impact? He had an accomplice.
The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve appears many times. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. It is empty. The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's
What?
likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of test subject. As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported by sufficient evidence.
You've got to be kidding! People dissolving into water?
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's just a coincidence, isn't it?
Huh. If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowell was targeting that girl. Wait just a minute. Could that mean... You two, with me, quick!
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order! It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results. But we cannot yet verify the veracity of these clues. Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found. Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines. Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence, so please continue speaking.
Of course. Thank you, Your Honor. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all. Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
The liquid the guard found in Cowell's luggage seems to have the ability to dissolve Fontanians in water. Why Fontanians? Who is the prime suspect currently? Well, Cowell.
The deceased's name is Cowell.
What item did the culprit use to control the timing of the dissolution?
The water from the primordial sea should already have been prepped before Halsey entered the magic box.
Yes.
The rope that held the water tank up was lit by the fireworks and snapped. As such, the focus here is on the water and not the tank. Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick, but was...
What item did the culprit use to dissolve Halsey?
The water from the primordial sea.
So is she actually fucking dissolved? Like she's... Bro. What item did the culprit use to hide the mechanism behind the crime? This?
Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant
for another...
for
No, we
another...
already used this. Maybe this?
The rope that held the water tank up was...
Oh, wait.
Lynette was in the magic box on stage the entire time. Did she have... I remember there was something else within the inner layer of that box.
Okay.
It's Ace Detective Paimon's time to shine again! In the original plan, Cowell would tamper with the water tank rope and the number selector securing his target. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box.
Oh my god.
When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey. Afterward, Cowell would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel, and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
Oh.
Huh. That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of evidence.
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person? What a humiliation.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to Cal's death.
Okay.
His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence.
They update the autopsy report?
I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
Hi, guy.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people involved in this case.
Yeah?
And we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Linny's personal effects.
Nah, that was planted.
What?
That has got to be planted.
That can't be.
Oh, I see. Well, how wonderfully comedic to have your own counterattack only to come back and wound you.
Maybe Cal was planning to frame Linny this whole time.
Does this not clear all doubt? My dear citizens, my loyal audience, allow me to present my reasoning and bring this performance to a swift close. Linny did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, he did leave the scene via the vent. Having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowl then caused Halsey to vanish using the water from the primordial sea. But upon his return, in cruel avarice, Linny desired sole credit and prepared to do away with his partner in crime. Ultimately, he knocked Cowl out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up also became a murder weapon. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion, it does seem that the famed Fatui is quite the cold-blooded and ruthless organization. Am I right, Mr. Linny?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. There's no way for us to make a rebuttal here. Is this the end of the road?
No, we're good, dude. We can do it. Oh, shit.
Oh no! Paimon can't think of anything either. It doesn't look like there's any way around this. Seems using the water as new evidence was too good a move. Oh, why did this have to happen now?
I think we've all seen enough now. And we have ample witnesses to my flawless reasoning. I believe this is indeed the finale. Now then, my good, noble Chief Justice, should we not, in your view, move...
Excuse me, everyone, but I must interject.
Navia!
Miss, I must ask you not to shout and to respect the ongoing legal proceedings.
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little magic?
What's happening?
I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very eyes. Please, do the honors, Mr. Linny, if you would be so kind.
What in the world is she saying?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as a magician.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion. But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's performance? Come on, Linny and Lynette, give it another go. Don't worry. Spina di Rasula has made the necessary arrangements on your behalf. But, as the magic makers and stars of the show, I think I should leave the final performance to you.
I understand.
What the hell's happening?
And voila!
What?
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So the whole thing about people dissolving wasn't true after all?
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me, and then before I knew it, she caught me.
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
Where should I begin? I'm sorry. I'm the one who killed Cowl. I admit it.
What? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian. and I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Linny was the one who caught me in the act.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. So you were the thief! Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was onto me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
If they're a practiced hand at concealment, probably, a professional thief could make it work.
But I swear, I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear it.
Well, but that means someone tampered with it anyway. Someone who had...
Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Yeah, that doesn't explain why it was tampered with. Who tampered with the ropes?
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now,
Not really.
doesn't it?
Well, some of it. Yeah, now it's time to refute the Hydro Archon's previous reasoning.
This time, we need to tell the entire story from Lily-Ann's perspective.
I get it, but like, she didn't know that the thing would fall. Why did it fall? Why was the rope tampered with? How would Halsey have reacted when the water from the primordial sea suddenly began to trickle in?
The strange sound wasn't from a fight. It was Lily-Ann's attempt to break out when she was frightened.
Lenny wanted all the credit and glory and wanted to get rid of all his partners. As Halsey has appeared completely unharmed before all our eyes, Farina's conjecture no longer holds water, but there is evidence proving that a fight did indeed break out in the tunnel.
The flower vase was not broken to cover anything up, but it was smashed during the struggle between Lily-Ann and Cowell.
What did Halsey do? After the fight then, what did Halsey do?
Lily-Ann was afraid that she would be recognized if she left, so she changed clothes and hid, biding her time. Just what one might expect of an experienced thief.
Yeah.
And it's Ace Detective Paimon time! Having been selected out of the blue, Lily-Ann panicked. Her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open, producing the thud we all heard. Hearing the commotion, Cowell leapt into the tunnel, only to discover that Lily-Ann had not dissolved. He did not know that Lily-Ann was not from Fontaine, but was a thief who made her way in by stealing a ticket. Mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect, he tried to force Lily-Ann back into the box. The two broke the flower vase during the struggle, but Lily-Ann came out on top, knocking Cowell out and putting him in the box. With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the costume trunk until the performance ended.
Okay. I get it.
She knew that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So, she has been trapped in the opera house these last 2
already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses. Talk about a sneaky thief.
How did she realize that?
At this point, all the events that happened in the tunnel have now come to light.
Ah, so that's the whole story.
Bravo! Bravo!
What about the ropes,
Now then,
though?
Lady Farina, do you wish to speak against the defense's statements? Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
What? Are you reading my mind now? No. I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
Wow, look at that! She's like a deflated balloon now!
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events.
But Lillian had nothing to do with the tampered robes then. It wasn't it was an accident, but then there was still someone who tampered with the robes.
The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind.
I'm stupid. It was
after
him.
the young woman was dissolved.
Okay, sorry. I was really confused about that part about like the water concealing the water. It felt kind of weird to me, so it didn't really like register. You know what I mean. But yeah, it was him. Okay.
He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks.
He just caused his own death.
He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed.
What I don't understand is that he seemed to be there the whole cutscene.
However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became his own final victim. Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant of these happenings. From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Linny, the accused, is in fact innocent. While there is much in Linny and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated separately, this case at least can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision. As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Great work, partners.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Let's not celebrate just yet.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Linny's baggage?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know. Or was that not a discovery, but false evidence that you dare to bring before this court?
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you, yes? I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui.
Oh.
The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
Higher-ups? From what? We're supposed to place blame for seal onto Lenny and this caused suspicion to fall on the Fatui.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability to said higher-ups, yes? Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know, and seek the protection of the guards.
Yes, I'll tell you everything I know. Our boss discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve. It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration.
Okay.
We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent more off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea. I mean, this is the boss we're talking about. The...
He turned into water.
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness. I shouldn't have expected any less of them.
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to
Oh my
inspection
God.
immediately.
This is fucking crazy.
So, we're just going back now?
The problem seems to have been solved for now. We're not needed here anymore.
That's true, but...
Traveler, Paimon! Please wait.
Yeah.
Lenny...
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me.
We just proved that he was innocent, man. What do you want?
Still, let me thank you again for defending me to the end. Even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui.
I just didn't wish to see anyone be falsely accused. I just wanted to be sure that we're square.
I guess. But regardless, I'd like the opportunity to set things straight. I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plain Linny this entire time. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That's all. That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then too.
Arlecchino's the father. That's crazy. I love that she uses like male titles. That's hot.
A knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth? She's your father?
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering, would you mind hearing a story? It's about my past.
Yeah.
Back when our parents first died, Lynette and I were left wandering the streets. To survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. It took me several days to figure out how he pulled off his amazing tricks. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic tricks there. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But I didn't want my sister to remain a street rat together with me forever. Before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to take us in after watching my performances.
So you went from orphans to nobility just like that?
That was how we felt at first too. As if fate was on our side and we could say goodbye to those painful days. But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks. He would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he would then use to expand his social circles.
That doesn't seem too bad either. Better than roaming the streets at any rate.
It took a while for me to realize just how dark his heart really was. After one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette was not on the same return vehicle as me. I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. I went to that noble's bedroom and asked him about her whereabouts. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless of who your assistant is, yes?
Oh no!
Oh no. So he was gonna... But wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal with such people?
Are they implying what I think they're implying? What the hell?
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care, and they have their ways of escaping the eye of the law.
What happened after that?
I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person, and hurried through the night. But by the time I leaped over the walls, avoided the guards, and made my way in, all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood, and the knave standing there in the darkness.
So, she'd already taken care of that guy.
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden in a basement, all of them orphans. Father, the knave, might have seen something in me, and so she made me an offer. The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. Indeed, betrayal shall never be permitted here. I was hesitant to trust her. I had just been betrayed by nobles, but she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first, giving us back our freedom.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
That's all in the past, though. The knave is after the Gnosis, isn't she? We haven't seen her at all yet. Why would you assume that immediately? I don't know.
She has her own plans. She has gained permission from the Tsaritsa to first use the Gnosis' power when she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and save Fontaine.
Okay. Really?
So, she believes in that prophecy too?
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis.
Oh my god.
Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophecy. All of us house members here, Lady Arlecchino herself included, are from Fontaine. We won't give up on defending our homeland.
I wonder what her real name is then, if she's from Fontaine.
To us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from our family, is our homeland.
Wow, okay. So I kind of misread what the House of Hearth was. I thought that it was like an orphanage where they had like children in it and they would raise them to become Fatui soldiers so that it wasn't just Fontaine. I guess that's kind of what it is, but I didn't think it was limited to Fontaine. I don't know. Okay.
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a Gnosis, everything is aimed at dealing with that prophecy.
What do you mean I still can't completely trust you? You just poured his heart out to me, like what?
It's alright, I understand. The only thing I can do is relate all this to you. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the House, I have never stopped making my own decisions, and that I believe what I'm doing is right.
Wow, okay.
If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me. I will do my best to help you, as plain Linny.
I get it. I understand, Linny. That does not reflect my thoughts. I think you're doing great, and I do trust you. God damn it, Traveler, you suck. Navia!
Hey there! What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us, Navia?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case, though. Don't you think so, too?
Why?
Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
I was really only trying to defend Lenny. I wasn't necessarily looking into a serial disappearances case.
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been cold for decades now? And given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trail of breadcrumbs for the Hydro Archon's people to follow now, right?
Ah, I see. Well, I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that from you. But I suppose you are just travelers who have only arrived in Fontaine after all. Sorry. I might have been too presumptuous.
Oh, but
Don't say that, Navia.
Aw, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too.
She's gonna guilt trip me.
It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire, causing new hope to spring forth, and the reflection in the murk to become clearer.
Okay, we get it. We're gonna investigate.
Sorry about that. I'm a bit prone to nostalgia. Don't mind me. Wait, shall we have a farewell meal? You know, to commemorate our time as partners?
Huh? Do we really need to get that formal? Well, guess you really did treat us as partners, huh?
Well, I'd just like to have a proper ending to every important memory. That way there are no regrets later. Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
Well, if you say so, let's go have that meal then.
You don't have to twist Paimon's arm. If Boss Navia's treating, count Paimon in!
Oh, wonderful. In that case, why don't we return to the Court of Fontaine and head to the Hotel de Boer? I believe we'll make it just in time for dinner.
All right then, let's have our farewell meal.
What do you mean farewell? We're not going anywhere. Damn. Offer the hydro sigils. Oh. Okay, there's this. I finished the first act, and there's the second one, I think. And I still have some time. I have like an hour and a half, so maybe I can make it. I don't know if I can play the whole thing. That was cool though, man. There's a lot going on. Oh, I'm still shocked at what they said about Lynette. What the hell? Why would they do something like that? I mean, you know, shit gets dark, I guess. Lenny has been acquitted, but you are not sure about what your next steps should be. You decide to take up Navia's offer for a farewell meal to celebrate your cooperation. Let's go.
Quit following me.
Where are we? Oh yeah, we're going to the Court of Fontaine.
Squall and Fury.
I'm not gonna take the fucking lift. Who do you take me for? It's time to have some dinner. Dinner.
Quit following me.
Ooh, I wonder what it looks like.
I came here several times with my father when I was little, but stopped eating here as often after growing up. I hope the food here will be to your taste.
Oh, don't worry. We haven't eaten at a hotel like this in a while. Paimon's getting excited already.
In that case, I'll go order for us first. Please wait here a moment.
Ooh, everything looks so good. People in Fontaine sure know how to enjoy life.
Oh wow, that does look good.
Why, of course. Go ahead, try whatever you like. If the food's good, I'll make a group reservation for the rest of Spina di Rosula next time.
And if it's not?
Well, then I'll still bring everyone. Albeit with only one dish per table.
You, sure have your own way of doing things. Oh, we called this a farewell meal, but we could also treat it like a victory We did just win that case after all.
It's certainly worth celebrating. It was a pleasure working with you.
Oh, true. Very true. In that case, boss, we'll have another 2 dishes.
Huh? Paimon didn't mean that you had to order even
We
more
didn't even
food.
eat any of the things that were here.
Speaking of cases, do you think that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances will get caught soon now that this has all happened?
Well, we've certainly taken a big step forward, but I feel that's about it. We know that there's an organization that means to dissolve these young women, but we still don't
Why
know
are they
what they are
doing
really
that?
after.
If it hadn't happened right in front of us, Paimon wouldn't have ever believed that a person could be dissolved like that.
Right? Yet it was because this was such a preposterous notion that the investigation could never really move forward before.
Ugh. If only that guy could have finished speaking. We were so close to hearing who was behind it.
In such investigations, even the smallest step can seem like a yawning chasm if the trail of clues is cut off.
Look at this fancy dog over there.
To be honest, I don't have high hopes for any follow-up that the authorities might conduct. It's not that I don't have faith in their ability. It's just that a different perspective is required in some matters. It's easy to guard against and deceive a single narrow perspective. A shift in thinking is required at such times in order to produce a breakthrough, which is exactly why the Spina di Rosula exist. Those highfalutin folk are not all-knowing. That's why we exist. To seep into the cracks where filth falls through, where their watch fails them. That's the kind of problems we solve.
Oh, okay. So are they like kind of investigators, like their own thing? I don't know.
Seems Paimon thought things were simpler than they actually are.
It's all right. Well, this was supposed to be a farewell meal, so I doubt you have further interest in this business, right? Let's talk about something else. Like, what are your future plans?
We wanted to ask the Hydro Archon for some information, but we haven't had much opportunity to do so.
That's true. We didn't have a chance to speak to her after the trial ended. It didn't really seem like the right time or place to do it anyway.
I see. So, your primary objective, which has been foiled so far, was to have a chat with the Hydro Archon. I've heard that there's a long line of people waiting to meet Lady Farina. I suspect you'll be waiting for quite a while, considering that you missed your chance today.
Yeah, we've heard that she's super popular here in Fontaine, and that it'll be tough getting any of her time.
Well, would you consider some more, unique ways? Perhaps even methods of, let's say, questionable legality?
I'm all ears, Navia.
Guess that's Spina di Rosula's boss for you. Chock full of sketchy ideas. Well, what did you have in mind?
Well, one way would be to infiltrate a performance troupe at the Opera House, only to abandon your act at the play's climax and ask to speak to her after the performance.
What? Okay.
I'm sure Lady Farina would be eager to see the ending, and would agree in order to finish watching the play. Don't you think?
What? That's so random.
Could you suggest something a little more practical? This plan seems pretty hard to pull off. We'd have to go learn how to act, and acting's really hard.
All right, here's another. Find a way to conceal yourselves under her bed. Then, wake her up in the dead of night and demand answers. Don't let her go back to sleep until she answers all your questions.
What the hell,
I
girl?
can personally testify that this one works. When I'm sleepy, I'll do anything as long as I can finally get some sleep.
Oh.
That might work, but that's not really the problem. The problem is we don't want to get ourselves arrested.
Valid point. I overlooked that part. I was just thinking about leveraging a person's desire for sleep.
How can you overlook something like that?
All right, no more joking around. Perhaps you could... Oh, I don't know. Cut the line when she's on a break. You did defeat her in court, clearing citizens of hers from false accusations. False accusations she had nearly upheld personally. I imagine that she feels quite ashamed about the whole thing.
You mean That if we catch her while she's on a break, she might be too embarrassed to refuse? Oh, that does make some sense.
It's worth a try.
Why don't we give it a try after this meal? You know, strike while the iron is hot and all.
Huh? Paimon, did you drink my Fanta?
Your Fanta?
Was this your drink? Sorry about that. Paimon wasn't really paying attention and the cup was right next to Paimon. Would you like to order another?
No, it's fine. We're just about done here.
Alright. Honestly, Paimon wouldn't recommend Fanta anyway. It tastes kind of salty and icky.
What? This is so... What? I'd have to agree. My drink also tasted that way too.
Is that so? Huh. Well, in that case, we'll have to blacklist the Fanta here then. If we're all finished eating, then I'll go pay.
Yeah, we're stuffed. Thanks for the treat, Navia.
That was so out of nowhere. I'm wary of like everything.
So full. Paimon can barely float anymore.
You could try walking, you know? You could try floating a little lower.
Nah, that would be so... normal. You know, like you.
Okay. As for expenses this month, we're left with...
Hey, Navia! What are you doing over there?
Oh, nothing. It was just a meal, you know? Nothing the Spina di Rosula can't cover.
Seems that was pretty tough for her.
Let's get ready to try to meet the Hydro Archon again. Bye, Navia!
So this is goodbye, huh? Well, if you do encounter any other trouble in Fontaine, you're always welcome to contact the Spina di Rosula. I'll give your request the highest priority. In any case, I wish you smooth sailing. I'll see you again, partner.
See ya!
Bye, wife, love of my life. Act 2. This music is fucking dope. I love it. I wish Friends looked like that. Like for real. France does not look like that. I wish it did. Well, it depends where you go, I guess. Like, I guess there's some places that could look a little bit like this, but I personally haven't seen any in France. Not where I live, anyway. Mint! This Team IU decks the life of a small person truly is difficult. Are you alright? Thank you, kind soul. Would you be willing to hear Melusine's troubles? Perhaps I'm at fault for having been too enthusiastic about integrating into human life, but I've gradually found that there are a lot of difficult things to adapt to. Humans use such large things in their daily lives. Take clothes, for example. Sure, we can just buy a shirt and use it as a dress too, but we still need to get the cuffs tailored. And if we want to rent an apartment, we can only buy children's furniture, and even then, I have to step on a stool to reach the windows. If only I had a body like I have no idea how to pronounce that name. Sigewin? Or maybe I should just go underwater. Don't do anything rash, alright? Oh, don't misunderstand. There's no need to worry in any case. We Melusines are excellent in the water. When I say underwater, I'm referring to the place where Sigewin works. She's a companion of ours, but she looks more like a human. She welcomes friends from the Maréchaussée Phantom to drink tea with her in the infirmary, but she's against us working there for a long time, unless we want to switch to work of a more medical bent. That's because many of those underwater have been sent there by the Maréchaussée Phantom. They probably wouldn't want to see uniform Melusines. Is it too late for me to change jobs? It's never too late to start. Spoken like true Monsieur Neuvillette, it's just that with my hands and eyes, there's a lot of human work that I can't do. In terms of ability, I'm more suited to the work at the Maréchaussée Phantom. Everyone has their own strength to utilize and duties to perform. I guess that is probably the order in life. Well, what the hell? I'm gonna go keep working on that quest. I want to unlock a lot of these, waypoints, but there's so many. And I really need to try diving, too. But I want to continue the story because I'm not gonna be able to stream until Monday.
The wind rises.
There aren't many people around anymore. Looks like that boat we took to Araneas might have been the last one.
Vache.
The hell?
Looks like we're back here again, huh? Traveler? Are you hearing voices again?
Yes, and it's clearer than it was during the day.
That's kinda spooky. Are you sure we don't want to come back in the morning?
Vache? Vache.
Who the fuck is Vache?
Hey, why are you still walking towards it? There might be something nasty in the water.
I can feel strong emotions. Things are getting a little blurry.
Huh? Hang on. Paimon can kinda hear a voice. It's calling for Vache, right? Hey, traveler? Stop walking! Come on, wake up!
Oh man, are we about to be transported? Oh, beautiful. Where's this?
Vache, are you my dear Vache?
Who the fuck is Vache?
No, wait. You seem to be someone else. Do you know Vache? Do you know where my love is?
I'm afraid not. I'm sorry. Who are you?
Wait. Who am I? I'm very sorry. I fear I do not know.
Oceanid.
My memories feel like they have been washed away like a flood. So many fragments dissolved amidst the tide, never to be recovered. How much have I lost? How many things that I once held dear while on land have I since forgotten?
You were once human?
Yes, that is what I was once. But now, I am but the consciousness of one who is lost, therefore.
You lost your form?
I do not know how I came to be like this either. I only vaguely remember being covered in light blue water, and then all grew dim.
Oh, so they transformed them in Oceanids. Could she be one of the girls who were dissolved?
I also remember going to many places. I loved adventure, loved exploring places of peril. No matter where I went, Vache would go with me. I knew how dearly he loved me. And I also loved him equally as much. But now, we can no longer go back. The pain of such parting. I never knew how heavy it could be.
Do you need me to find him?
No. Our reunion no longer has any meaning.
Oh, what do you mean?
There is no way for us to create any new memories.
Why not?
The thought of me gives him no succor. So let it lie forgotten beneath the waters. If you meet Vache, tell him not to look for me. Tell him to move on. That is the only thing I still remember.
I believe it will be hard for him to forget you.
Perhaps that is so. As I was submerged in the waters, losing consciousness, I saw Vache above the surface. His eyes were filled with such sorrow, such longing. If only I could have comforted him, told him that I did not suffer. Indeed, I had felt a great warmth.
That means Vache was a witness to the fact that you dissolved?
Is that what you call it? Dissolving? If anything, I consider it a form of release. It was a state of neither fear nor frenzy, with only an endless peace, like the water's still surface. I could also liken it to being a thirsty person who drinks water for the first time, and only then sees how they have lived for so long in a world of endless want and anxiety.
It seems that after the body is dissolved, some measure of the consciousness still remains.
I think I hear your companion. It's time for you to go, I think.
Is that Paimon?
Farewell, then. I am glad that you were able to sense my presence. Remember, if you see Vache, tell him not to seek me out any longer.
Damn, what the hell? Okay. Ah! What was happening? Why is she fighting? What's happening? What?
Demoiselle, look out!
Dear God, it's a whole army of Gardamex.
What's happening? Why are we being... Oh.
Chlorand?
Well, okay. Boobs. They're big.
Quick, now's our chance!
Oh, what are we... what even is happening? Why are we being attacked? What, did Navi break... is she a criminal? Did she commit a crime? Gun! What's going on?
I should thank you for lending us your sword there, Chlorand. But before I do so, could you explain how you managed to show up here?
I followed you. It seemed to me that danger has followed you more closely as of late.
I believe that following someone without their knowledge is actually called stalking, is it not?
Mr. Callus's last wish was for me to ensure your safety, and I will not betray his trust. He would do the same, were he alive today.
Oh, this is different than what I expected. Okay.
Do not speak of my father!
Damn.
Sorry, Demoiselle. I was not strong enough.
Thank you for your aid, Miss Chlorand, but do keep an eye out for your manner of speech. I believe we all wish to avoid unnecessary emotional harm.
Sorry, I did not consider your feelings.
Whatever. What else do you know? How did you come to the conclusion that I'd be in grave danger?
I doubt I know much more than you. But I believe that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances is very powerful.
Damn.
Your performance tonight will almost certainly attract their attention.
Performance?
Huh. I'm sure they've known about me. To be honest, I'm shocked it's taken them this long to act against me. And what about these Gardamex? I thought only those associated with the Maison Gardiennage could control them.
None of these mecha have serial numbers. I was sure to check a moment ago. They are not the ones used by the authorities to enforce the law. I can only conclude that some powerful or wealthy party must have obtained them via illegal means, deploying them as a private force of sorts.
What? Your point being that they're out of Spina di Rosula's league, then?
Yes. Be careful, and do not act rashly.
I will continue investigating no matter what. We will bring the truth to light. That's my father's true last wish. Regardless, thank you for your help today, Chlorand. But if you get any ideas, tell me first. I don't much appreciate being followed.
I do not think that they'll strike again anytime soon. So I shall stop following you. Good day, all.
Right. I suppose that's the best news we've gotten today.
Demoiselle, I believe that Miss Chlorand was being sincere with you. If we tried, we could attempt to thaw relations a little.
I know, she's...
What just happened?
Oh, thank goodness! Paimon thought we were done for. Those Gardamex came out of nowhere while you were unconscious, and Nadia and her gang saved us. Oh, and there was that champion duelist named Chlorine who came out to save us too. We got lucky there. Paimon probably couldn't have fought them off otherwise.
Oh, is there a fighter now, Paimon? Thanks for the rescue, Navia.
Oh, come now. Forget all that polite talk. That wasn't really a farewell meal we had back there. Not for me, anyway. In truth, I hope that every meal we have together shall be a victory feast. As such, we're still partners. There's no need to thank me.
It will take 50 years for me to match Demoiselle's magnanimity.
If it were me, I would have joined the Spina di Rosula on account of her goodwill long ago.
All right, you two. That's enough.
Actually, Navia, how did you know that we were in danger? You sure did show up in the nick of time.
Well, to be honest, you're the one who tipped us off, Paimon.
Huh? Really? Paimon contributed somehow? Ooh, Paimon's even more amazing than she thought!
Yes, all thanks to you grabbing my drink by mistake.
What?
How did that help?
After we parted ways, I was on the way back to one of our bases when I suddenly thought of what you said. That the Fanta tasted kind of salty and icky.
I fucking knew this had some meaning. Do you mean that I thought it tasted strange as well, but I couldn't be sure?
Fanta only comes in sweet flavors. So how could it have tasted salty? The color of the drink, if I recall, had also been a bit off.
So the Fanta had been spiked with water from the primordial sea?
Yes. So if you hadn't drunk that cup for me...
Oh no, oh my god!
Spina di Rosula is preparing the grandest of awards for you as we speak for saving the boss.
Really?
Huh. Really?
Fortunately, Paimon, neither of us are from Fontaine, otherwise we would have been...
I sent people
dissolved.
to Hotel de Boer to investigate, but whoever did this left no trace at all. That's when I figured out that you might be in danger, and hurried here as quickly as I could.
But why would they go after us too? All we did was defend Linny in court and help clear his name. Ugh, now we're caught up in this mess too, aren't we?
Well,
yeah, of course we are.
You did foil a plan that they were probably pretty proud of, and almost got their name in the process. Speaking of which, did anything strange happen when you drank the primordial seawater?
Well, it can't be a coincidence that the traveler fainted just now. He said that he heard that voice calling for Vache again. Oh, and this time Paimon heard it too. But it was real faint. Does this situation have to do with the primordial seawater then?
According to Lynette, the ability to hear voices like that has to do with one's sensitivity to the hydro element.
Does that mean the primordial seawater raises someone's sensitivity to hydro when it's used on people who are not from Fontaine?
That doesn't sound like too much of a bad thing, to be honest.
I also gained some new intel.
New intel? While you were out cold?
Well, let's hear it, shall we?
The voice in the fountain belonged to one of the missing women. A person named Vache was a witness when she dissolved.
Oh, that is important. Vache. That name doesn't ring a bell. I suppose he hasn't stepped forward as a witness in court lately. Since he saw that young woman dissolve, he was at least at the crime scene.
Yeah.
But he never gave testimony or any information regarding people dissolving in the primordial seawater. Could he have been threatened?
If he's still alive, we should try searching for him.
Yes, thank you. This is very important information indeed. We will continue to investigate.
Alright, partner.
Oh, you mean you'll help us investigate?
Well, you did say that our farewell meal didn't really count. That means we're still partners, right? And besides, we're in this now whether we like it or not. You're not gonna let those people who targeted us get off the hook so easily, are you, Traveler?
Messing with us will cost them.
Demoiselle, do try not to look quite so pleased. You are the face of Spina di Rosula.
Leave her alone. She's so cute. Look at her. Ah!
You talk too much. Well, in that case, let's head back to one of our bases, shall we? I'll arrange accommodations for you. We also have some plans to go over, and hopefully we can deepen our bonds as partners. But we'll take that one step at a time, I guess.
Don't worry, you two. With us around, our base is definitely secure.
Sorry, I'm sleepy. Where are we going? Back to Fontaine.
Behold!
So cute, the kiosk. Game design. Game environment design. Dog!
Being skilled at something doesn't make it a hobby.
Busico? What the fuck is that? Say the word and I shall procure it through my connections. Anything you wish. What the fuck? Let me see your wares. Oh, you're the guy who just sells groceries. Fonta. Refreshing Fonta. A font of refreshment. I'll take it. I mean... Marcotte. A pink flower with a pearl-like luster and rich scent profile. It is one of the most important ingredients in the perfumer's arsenal. I see. Okay, I'm out of milk almost. I'll take the beans, I guess. Why'd you hit? Yeah. Fermented juice. And marinade. I'll take it. I can take 100. I would. Where is it that they sell stuff also? I want recipes. You may easily have time, but you will not easily obtain perfume made by Miss Emily. Perfume. Fragrance is no mere scent, it is a lifestyle. This is what we leave behind in living's wake. Do you think such aromas dissipate all too easily? I will not deny that. But why then do they find new life within our dreams? I mean... Okay, I would like to find the shop where they sell recipes! Maybe over there. Or here.
Swollen Fury.
Does she have food to sell? No.
Too slow.
Where's the fucking... I wanna go there. Fuck. I can't navigate. It's so annoying.
Behold.
I wanna buy the food of Fontaine. I want to try the food of Fontaine. Café Lucerne. Here we have the most bitter coffees and the sweetest cakes. Tell me about the sweet stuff. Île flottante. Yes. I'll take that. Conch Madeleine. Okay. Tasty. I'll take the coffee beans too, why not? I forgot you could get them at Sumeru. I don't remember ever, like... Is that all you got in terms of recipes? God damn. Well, I'm going to Spina di Rosula's stronghold.
Too slow.
Snack shop? Oh, yes! Garlic baguette? Perfect. Fontaine onion soup? Perfect. Fish and chips? Perfect. Pâte de fruits? Perfect. Pâte de fruits? I haven't had that in a really long time. Oh. It's so weird because people always that you know, for Christmas you can either get like, you have those things called papillotes, which is like, you know, chocolate candy usually. But sometimes in some packages you have like those chocolate ones and you have the pâte de fruits ones. And people always say they hate the pâte de fruits ones, which is like, but they're so good though. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the chocolate ones, but the pâte de fruits is also really good. It's fruit paste. It's just nice, you know? So what, the stronghold is... Ah! Okay.
It's right up ahead, but let's make sure we weren't followed first.
I've been keeping watch, Demoiselle. I haven't spotted anyone suspicious thus far.
Huh, very good. But let's not let our guard down for now.
Okay.
I shall find rooms for our respected guests.
Thank you, Malus. Now, let's continue, traveler.
I love her two guys. Damn. Dude. Are you supposed to like... well... Fleuve sombre. Oh damn, now we have the underground maps. That's cool as fuck. So is that... What exactly is happening? Where I am? What? There should be a... Oh, fuck. Well, I missed the waypoint. It's up here. Land of corroded shadows and tainted currents added to the archive. What a place. This is so cool. Legal advisor. What the hell?
So, this is your base? It's not quite what Paimon imagined.
Your accommodations have been arranged. Under the present circumstances, I can confidently say it's the best we have.
Thank you.
Well, our funds have been a little tight lately. After all, we don't allow illegal or unethical profiteering. In fact, our funds often come from citizenry who support us.
Seems like it's tough times for everyone. But if you have the support of the people, that does sound like it's worth it.
To be honest, our financial situation was a lot better back when my father was in charge a few years ago. I'm afraid I'm not quite his equal.
Your father... he was the previous boss of Spina di Rosula, right? How did he...
Demoiselle, if you'll allow me to explain.
No. I'll explain it myself. I suppose I couldn't run from this topic forever. And as partners, this is something I hope they can understand. My father's name is Callus. Yes, the same one they call Callus the Unfaithful in the streets.
Damn.
3 years ago, he was accused of murdering his own friend. But he chose a duel to defend his honor instead of standing trial. He died in the duelist's ring.
Oh no.
But I do not believe my father was a murderer. I'm sure he was set up. At the time, I believed that if he only stood trial and was duly investigated, something amiss would crop up and prove his innocence. But strangely, he not only requested the duel himself, but Rumor has it that even after being seriously injured, to the point where he could be deemed as having lost the duel, he refused to surrender, determined to die in the arena.
Damn.
3 years later, I still don't understand why he did that. How could he protect his honor if he's dead? If anything, he gave up his chance to defend himself.
Does seem quite odd. Do you have any clues as to why?
The closest piece of info I have is that my father had been investigating the serial disappearances case at the time of his death.
Ah, so that's why you're so determined to get to the bottom of that case.
That's right. I've also tried to investigate the murder my father was implicated in, but I haven't found a single new clue in my countless reviews of the investigation records. However, I believe that if the murder case is related to those behind the disappearances, they must know something. I must know what really happened. Was my father coerced? Framed? Even if he really did kill his friend, I must get to the truth. If only he'd been more open with me when he was still alive. He even hid the fact that my mother died due to complications when giving birth to me.
Oh my god, everybody's fucking trauma dumping on me. That's okay. Navia, what? That's so sad.
And now, here I am investigating his death. You really are a handful, aren't you, Papa?
Seeking the truth for the sake of your family. You know, we're quite alike in this regard.
Demoiselle, please, if there is anything I can do, anything at all.
I also will never believe that Master Callus murdered anyone. There are none whom I respect more than the two of you, Demoiselle. Master Callus did so much good in life, yet all it took was one murder case for him to be dubbed Callus the Unfaithful. Even our supporters decreased greatly due to that incident, hence our strained finances at present.
Wait, if Callus was such a good man, wouldn't people at least be a little suspicious when he was accused?
No. Perhaps people just revel in that kind of drama. It's not something exclusive to people from Fontaine, really. Everyone's like that. People love watching the evil turn over a new leaf, but they also enjoy watching good people fall into an abyss from one slip-up just as much.
But how could... never mind. If Callus was really falsely accused, we have to find the truth. He didn't deserve to have that happen to him.
There is one other thing. Master Callus's opponent in the duel was Ms. Clorand.
Oh, her? Well,
Oh, damn.
Isn't that as good as saying that she was the one who killed him?
No wonder the mood was a little strange between the two of you.
Yeah, that's not the sort of thing that you can just let go and move on from.
Ms. Clorand has always placed great emphasis on the honorable nature of the duel. If her opponent doesn't yield, she will not stop either. She knew Master Callus beforehand and greatly respected him, but seeing how he was resolute in the arena, there was only ever one choice she could have made.
It's not that I don't understand her at all, but I just can't deal with this yet.
Don't worry, Navia. Paimon knows how you feel. You don't have to force yourself to do that.
Afterward, Ms. Clorand told us that at the start of the duel, Master Callus requested that she ensure Demoiselle Navia's safety.
I just realized the whole fucking time my stream has been labeled as Tears of the Kingdom instead of Genshin Impact. Even yesterday, and... I don't know why I didn't realize. I guess it was because the thumbnail was off. Damn, that sucks. Well... That's fine. That's okay. Miss Clorand told us that at the start of the duel, Master Callus requested that she ensure Demoiselle Navia's safety. Then that indicates that he intended to die in that duel.
Yes, that is our understanding as well.
Oh, Papa. What madness drove you to ask the person who killed you to take care of me? All right. Anyway, that's the information I wanted to share with you. Even if it did sound like I was just complaining towards the end.
It's alright. I understand how important this is to you.
Thanks. You two should go and rest. This was quite a day after all.
Yeah. Paimon's beak.
Please, relax and get some sleep. We will ensure you rest soundly.
I'm gonna sit here, drink some alcohol, and... C'est trop. Hugues. Hostier. I love those fucking names. Do you have anything to... Got a problem? I can solve it for you. Can you solve any problem? Theoretically, I do not believe there is any problem that can only be solved by force. When we of the Spina di Rosula act, I'm certain that we'll be able to resolve your issue with minimal harm. From things as small as living supplies and household affairs, no matter as large as factional disputes and savings, the Spina will do it all it can for you. Living supplies, household affairs, factional disputes, and savings. Okay. There's a lot going on. What kind of organization? You said? An old companion of mine. It could have lived free after I modified it, but then they took it away from me. There was no time to take anything back because then they gave me a new workplace, the Fortress of Meripede. By the way, before Lucelle belonged to me, it was a Gardamek with the guard. It didn't resist when I modified it, so I took it as consent. And that's how you landed a new job in jail. Yes. Even so, this job has some perks over my previous work at the Fontaine Research Institute. My time as Meripede was more conducive to creativity, to be honest, given the lack of complicated process and boring summary meetings. Even my daily meals were delivered by clockwork machines. Such an inviable situation. A shame, though, that the canteen manager refused to sell me that machine. Such an innovative spirit should be praised. I doubt this is a compliment. No matter what, such an innovative spirit... Okay. What the hell? This is so hard to believe. Who are you? What? It's me, Fostier. Sorry, I must have gotten the wrong person. Too many people ask me that, so I thought you must be an old acquaintance. Old friends don't recognize you? Well, I had a short stint in the Fortress of Meripede, petty theft and such. And when I came out, no one could recognize me any longer. They said I'd changed too much. While I certainly was a leaner sight in the past, it took quite some effort just to move chairs even. But unrecognizable, really? I just bulked up a little, that's all. It's understandable. Really? Did I change so much? Well, I've got the pancreation ring to thank for that. Then, when I first watched that boxing match, I couldn't help but wonder if I would ever have stolen had I simply been strong enough. After serving my sentence, I was invited to join the Spina, and I began to do some legitimate manual labor. I guess I'm finally on the right path now. I need like an actual definition of what the Spina is, because it seems like there's just so much that they do. Legal advisor, what do you have to say? Is there any legal service I can provide? You're an attorney? Well, I wish I could have become a champion duelist, but that's not happening in this life, I reckon. I can't fight, like I really can't. I'm the type who can knock herself on the head with a sheath sword. If there's a talent I do have that's searching, as long as the case details are clear, I can quickly find all the relevant legal clauses. Okay. So you do legal consultancy? To be precise, I do consultancy on how to escape the law. It's very suspicious. My goal is to let my clients avoid run-ins with champion duelists and avoid entering the theater, except to enjoy performances, that is. This is not hard to do. All legal systems have their flaws, and I know them as well as I do the holes in my socks. Speaking of that, I should probably spend some more to get a pair of new ones. Oh. Okay. There's just so much happening with these guys. What's that, an earthquake? Or am I just getting seasick? What do you sell here? Take your pig. No thank you. What's wrong with you? Really? Little sun's good for your health. And you are? I'm a doctor, the legitimate kind. I've got the relevant certification and the graduation cert from this academia to boot. Why are you practicing medicine here? I used to be very poor and I had no money to support my studies or travel overseas. It was the Spina di Rosula that sponsored me. Of course, they did so on the condition that I consider returning here to work as a doctor after finishing my studies, I'd be salaried as a standard, of course, with the Spina being my employer. I thought this was a good deal, and I understand what they wanted out of it, so I only asked for the most basic fees when I practice here. No sunshine is needed here. But the people in Fluff Sun have already gotten used to such a lifestyle. We don't go up there unless it is absolutely necessary. Enough about that. Same goes for you. Stay in the sunlight more often and eat more vegetables and fruits. It's good for your health. Okay. I'm an old acquaintance of her father. Gotta hand her marksmanship too, if I do say so myself. Of course, she didn't learn it here. This place is too small. Any drawing of weapons isn't going to end well for anyone. If someone does dare cause trouble here, they'll be sent away to start a new life in the ocean. What? Dude, what is this place? Want to change your life? What are you talking about? You might find this hard to imagine, but many people in this world would love a chance to restart their lives. But a little change to one's appearance can have the difficulty, and that's my specialty, see? There's a bright future ahead for this sort of research, and you look like the sort of person with an eye for the future, or so. Would you consider sponsoring me? I'm a proper engineer from the Fontaine Research Institute, you know? Well, I was anyway. That sounds suspicious. What happened? Tell me the truth. Alright. God, it really does seem like I've got no talent for pulling in investors. But I really was an engineer at the Institute once, and it was my goal to use machines to pursue the apex of aesthetics. But an accident happened, resulting in some damage to one of my colleagues' appearance. And when I returned from my stint at the Fortress of Meripede, I started living here. They told me that Fluff Sun was a bit of a gray area, and that I might be able to secure some funding here. But as it turns out, that's not the case at all. The Spina di Rosula watches everyone here like hawks, you see. Okay. Huh. I'm getting some, like, lore tidbits. I'm gonna keep on working on the quest, though. This place is cool. Silver?
Whether it be responsibility for Spina di Rosula or Master Callus's death, it all landed on Demoiselle's shoulders so suddenly. This won't do. I must become stronger.
I'm going to bed.
Paimon slept so well. This place feels almost too safe, huh? Navia? Where did the other two go?
I sent them back to Poisson. It's Spina de Rosula's place of origin, and where we have our headquarters. There's not much for them to do here at the moment.
Paimon gets the feeling that you're just trying to get them off your back. But never mind that. When did you get back? Were you waiting here the whole time?
No, I just returned after going out for a while. I did some investigating yesterday regarding the name Vacher.
Wait, so you didn't sleep at all?
How could I after having such critical new evidence appear?
Guess Paimon wasn't speaking for everyone just now, huh?
Unfortunately, this name seems to have been wiped from existence. It doesn't seem to have a match anywhere. I suspect that those behind this have already taken steps to hinder an investigation from this angle. But that does prove that this Vacher person is a key witness in the incident.
Does that mean we're too late, though?
No. There is one ray of hope. One place in Fontaine that they would find almost impossible to threaten, no matter how much they wanted to.
What?
And that is the archives kept by Chief Justice Mistylotl. A place where detailed files on all the cases in recent years are kept. If the Oceanette you met is one of the young women who went missing recently, we should be able to find some related information there.
So Nervalette maintains an archive of case files? Whew. Guess that's the hard-working Chief Justice for you.
Yeah,
In that case, let's go talk to him, shall we? Aren't you coming along, Navia? Did you get tired?
No, it's nothing. Let's go see the Honorable Chief Justice.
Let's do it. Ah. Guess I got to I'm just looking around a little bit. You'll sometimes encounter teleport waypoints and domain entrance map pins bearing such sub-icons. These symbol indicates that the destination is located in a multi-layered area. After you unlock the corresponding map layer, you can interact with said pins to open the corresponding submap. Oh, pretty cool. Use the layer markers on the right of the map interface to switch between layers within the same group, or select the big icon to return to the top level map. When browsing map layers, the sub-icon of the map pins for the current layer will appear in bright blue. Oh, okay, that's what that means. Dotted lines will be used for indicators that are not located in the current map layer. Okay. Additionally, when an area in the center of the map contains different layers that you have previously entered, you can use the layer switching marker to swap over to the corresponding map. I see.
The palais is right up ahead. Come on.
That was quick. Neuvillette. I'm kind of thirsty.
Too slow.
Let me go get some water. I'll be back. I'm back. I have water, and also, I stole a baby carrot from my kitchen. I say stole, but I literally bought these today. Isn't that cool? You see how like hold on. My avatar has like this chewing motion. I made it myself. I'm the best, dude. Sorry for the ASMR. I'll be done soon. I mean, I don't know if you can even hear it.
Halt! Please state your business here. The Chief Justice is presently occupied with official matters.
Her voice.
Huh. This place does look pretty heavily guarded.
What do you mean? It's a fucking
proves
magazine.
that Neuvillotte's files are really secure.
We can beat her up. She's so small. Sorry, I would never do that.
Don't you recognize us?
Huh? Who are you? Just to be clear, I don't care who you are or who you might be related to. Our rules make no exceptions.
See? They've got great discipline, too.
Yep. Paimon can tell. If you're here just to crack jokes, I can point you towards the exit. Unlike some, we're busy, so please leave if you don't have a reason to be here.
No. What I meant to say is, shouldn't you remember us from a few days ago? We were at the trial of the great magician Linny.
Oh, yes, I remember. I read about it in the Steambird. You must be Linny's attorneys. It's all coming back to me now.
We're here today to report and archive some information on a follow-up case.
Huh. Is that even a thing?
Of course. Don't worry. We're here on official business. You can trust us.
All right then, I'll let you through. The Chief Justice is just inside.
Thanks so much.
Great. Neuvillette.
Please come in.
Hello.
Sorry to barge in, Monsieur Nervalet. We only lied to get in because we didn't know any other way.
It's all right. Please let me know how I may be of assistance to you.
So you're not mad at us?
We're looking for a man called Vacher. He may have been an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case. If we can find him, we may be able to unearth some key information on the case.
Ah, I see. In that case, please wait here a moment while I browse through the files.
Who knew that Nervalet would be so easy to talk to?
She's sleepy tired because she didn't sleep last night.
Unfortunately, I'm quite certain that no one by the name of Vacher has been involved in any case, criminal or civil, in the past several years. There are no records of him either in the files or in my memory.
Guess that's we're back to square one.
Traveler, what if it was really just a dream?
Is that so? All right then. Thank you so much, Monsieur Neuvillette. We'll take our leave now.
Ahem. Miss Navia, I can understand how you feel. Your father, Callus, was a truly exceptional man. We deeply regret his passing.
And what are you trying to say, Monsieur Neuvillette? Are you trying to console me? Extend your sympathy? Or just express some tendril of regret? No. You are not trying to do any of that. I can hear it in your voice. There's no emotion behind your words. You only said those things because you felt like you should. It's just like last time. After my father took his place in the duelist ring, I pushed through the guards to talk to you as a last resort. You even told me then that you thought there was something fishy with the case, yet you still allowed the duel to go ahead. In your eyes, the value of a human life is nothing compared to those cold laws you hold so dear. If you truly regret my father's death, then why didn't you call a stop to the duel?
Oh my god.
Why didn't you give me the power to stop him from throwing his life away? Why did you just let him die, despised and hated by all? Everything was hanging on a thread at that moment. Just the tiniest effort could have changed everything. There are still so many things I never got to tell him. So many questions he still owes me answers to. If you really have no heart, then just look me in the eyes. I, Navia, will show you the true meaning of regret.
I'm sorry, Miss Navia.
You and my father are truly alike. You keep all kinds of things in your heart and never say a word to anyone. It's not so much that you can't feel, but that you would never express anything. Oh well. In any case, everyone already knows full well the apathy of the Chief Justice.
Oh my
My
god.
apologies for taking my emotions out on you, Monsieur Chief Justice. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon.
Oh, that was sad. Damn.
Navia, are you okay?
I'm fine. Rain. It's raining.
You're right. Wasn't it still sunny when we went into the building? And there shouldn't be any active trials today. How strange.
Now that I think of it, on the day my father was convicted of murder, it was also raining.
Rain.
What is it? Did you think of something?
Your father's case, was he outside when it happened?
Yeah, he was outside. It was uncovered and the rain could fall there. Why? Do you think the rain could have affected the crime scene? That thought has occurred to us before. We've even expanded the search area to try to account for that, but didn't find anything of value.
But there was something you didn't know at the time.
Oh? Wait. You don't mean...
The fact that people can be turned into water.
So you're saying that the true murderer could have been turned into water? And then got washed away with the rain? Yeah. And if that's what had happened, then no one would have believed your dad, even if he explained what he saw to the authorities.
I really think I found a true genius for a partner. You're completely right. How did I not connect the dots earlier? All right, let's go to Poisson. With this new lead in mind, we'll get to the bottom of my father's case for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna make progress for sure this time.
Yeah,
Do you want to go
man.
with me now? Or do you want to head over by yourself later?
We should go right now.
Great. Let's go then.
Oh my god.
You're so happy just to see the sun again. How childish.
Where are we? I've never been here. That's cute. Where's my hydroculus? Oh, it's all the way up here. Well, I'll get it later. It's fine. Cool place.
Whoa, what a huge ship! Why would a ship be anchored at a place like this?
There's no need to be so surprised. While it may look like a ship, it's actually Spina di Rosula's headquarters. My father was the one who asked for it to be built like this. Perhaps our taste in exterior design is the only thing we occasionally had in common. A gigantic and glamorous ship embodies discovery, opportunity, ambition, and conquest. It symbolizes Spina di Rosula's bright and limitless future.
I mean, it looked cool. I think I'm starting to get why you like it.
And Paimon thought you were bluffing when you said Spina di Rosula had a glorious past. Paimon was confused why a group with such a history would live in the sewers. But now that Paimon has seen this ship for herself, she's been convinced.
Well, Poisson is where Spina di Rosula began, after all. It's our main base, our home.
Oh wait, so do they show you now where if you have like a star on the map to show you the Oculus, do they show you where it is now? If it's underground or what? I can dive! That's right, and I haven't tried to do it. Ah. Oh man. What is it? I mean, I know I'm not really supposed to. This is very nice. I really appreciate that you can't drown because that would have made it. Oh. Fish. Look at them. What? Did I just absorb the fish? What happened? I feel like now's not the. I mean, I suppose I could, but I kind of want to finish the quest before I do some exploration shit. I will definitely come back though. I want to stream some of my exploration. Oh, look at that. Creatures. Poisson. I love that they just named this place Poisson. Like that just means fish. It's great.
The wind rises.
Look at this jellyfish decoration. Isn't that cute? Is it just a decoration or is it a real fucking jellyfish? Because what do you do? Yeah, you're a fisherman, okay. Sorry, I was in a hurry. Why are you apologizing? You misunderstand. I'm not blaming you for scaring the fish away. Sorry about that. It's my grandchild who's always running around the place. Neither fish nor birds will stick around upon seeing him. I'm used to it though. I love fishing for it requires patience and allows for quiet consideration. The fish not being around is unimportant, okay? Kava's parents don't really accompany him at all, so the fact that he can play by himself is already quite a relief. The poisson seafood soup.
Quit following me.
Well, how do we get up here? Okay. Yes, there's a ramp. Hello.
Maloose, we're back.
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle, and our most important partner. You said before that you still had some business at the court. What brings you back to Poisson so quickly?
About that. It's because my partner here reminded me of something really important. You see, what if my father's case had something to do with water from the primordial sea? You still remember, right, Maloose? On that night, it was raining?
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Linney's. Both were what you'd call impossible murders.
Could the mastermind be the same person?
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened before?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, something called synth began to gain popularity in Poisson. At a glance, it was a kind of drink that could excite your mood and produce many pleasant hallucinations.
Oh my god, these people are drugged the fuck up.
Wait! Didn't that guard guy who turned into water also mention that the primordial water could be used to produce some kind of potion?
Yes, he did. Considering what we know now, it's almost certain that synth is created using water from the primordial sea. If you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects, such as losing the ability to focus or control your emotions. And if you were to stop drinking it completely, you'll experience flashes of paranoia and anxiety while lacking energy to do anything. It's an extremely dangerous substance. As he oversaw Poisson, my father was compelled to put a stop to synth abuse and called for a complete ban of it.
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the synth vendor's wrath, but no matter how much they threatened or bribed him, he refused to yield. Not only that, Boss became determined to find the mastermind behind the synth operation and put an end to the problem once and for all.
Yes, but the enemy was very cunning. So he could never get anything out of the dealers, all of whom only sold the stuff and weren't privy to the rest of the operation. Recognizing that, my father decided to contact the dealers in secret and cultivate personal relationships with them. Finally, he was able to convince someone to become his informant. The man's name was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work after seeing many families destroyed by synth abuse. That night, my father hosted a banquet at his countryside estate. He planned to meet up and exchange information with Jacques over some food. But then, we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We raced to the scene and found my father, still holding a gun.
I mean...
And Jacques, who was already dead on the ground.
Huh? How did that happen? Aren't they on the same side?
Sounds just like Lenny's case, doesn't it? In both cases, the culprit seemed obvious, but neither appeared to have any motive at all. Looking back on it, though, I now believe the most important clue was something we all overlooked at the time. There were pieces of clothing left at the scene.
So they could have belonged to someone who got dissolved?
Precisely. It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now. Back then, we all just thought they were some costumes that Jacques used to disguise himself at the banquet. But, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belong to a third person at the scene. With one extra person, we'll also need to reconsider why the 2 shots were fired.
Maybe your father got into an argument with Jack, but it is also possible that this third person was to blame.
You're right. We still don't know what happened. But my intuition tells me that we're on the right track to figuring it all out. I'm finally headed towards the truth.
Jacques was an empathetic man who was infinitely remorseful for his past actions. It's unlikely that he turned on Boss with 0 warning. I think this third person is probably the key to the full truth. On that note, however, even though this will not please you, demoiselle, as your and your father's butler, I must still offer a word of warning. Our opponent is insidious and cruel. They are extremely difficult to deal with, and Boss has already lost his life trying to bring them to justice. Even though Spina di Rosula has lost most of its former glory, Poisson has welcomed a new time of peace, and we have been allowed to live out our lives. There is no need to follow your father's path. It would be both wise and in line with Boss's wishes to step back and give up on the case.
If that's indeed what he wished for, then he should have told me that himself. Was I not the closest person to him? And yet, I was the one most kept in the dark. What was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Did he manage to protect anything in the end? Synth is still here. Callus the Unfaithful is still his epithet. And Spina di Rosula is barely getting by. Nothing has changed. Did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death and live out my life just as meaninglessly? I've never accepted that. Ever. Not since that day, and certainly not now.
Man, she's got a lot going on.
I want to find out the real answer for everyone's sake. For the missing girls, for the victims, and for myself.
Navia.
This is indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears to be quite reliable, and more importantly, demoiselle, I think you're also ready to take this on.
So you do know something else, Malus?
Yes, I do.
Hmm.
In fact, even before that banquet, Boss already knew of the connection between Synth and the serial disappearances case. But what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, demoiselle, had been selected as the next target to disappear.
What?
Boss also didn't tell you that he... had been diagnosed with a rare illness. The doctors told him that he had no more than 5 years left to live, and the serial disappearances case caused him great anxiety. 5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict, but once he passed away, all the danger would pass on to you. Knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. He claimed to have already gotten his hands on some key incriminating evidence for the other side, and even told some members of Spina di Rosula about the details. But as long as you remained safe, he would not share the evidence with the public. If something were to happen to you, then he and all those he told would immediately expose all they knew about Synth and the disappeared victims.
Oh, wow.
Right, so nobody would be able to get off scot-free.
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time, the other side has not tried to take Demoiselle's life.
No, I don't believe it. He never appeared to look sick to me.
No father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss. To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the unfaithful was still far preferable than losing face in front of his daughter.
Damn.
So he chose to die in silence, so that he could protect me.
I'm afraid you're not understanding this correctly, Demoiselle. What Boss wanted to hand to you was not a parasol, but a sword. If Boss's spirit could hear you telling me that you want to find the answer for the sake of everyone involved, I'm sure he'd be extremely proud.
That fool. Couldn't he have just given it to me straight? No. He might have set up everything precisely because he never thought I'd be able to understand him. Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now?
He gave you the choice to live how you want.
Yeah. I suppose that's true. With the way he'd set things up, if I had wanted, I could have just lived out my life without a care in the world. But thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. In this case, he really didn't need to give me an easy way out. Malus, what was the key evidence that he shared with you?
It's the location where synth is produced. Essentially, it's the enemy's headquarters. When he was threatening the enemy, Boss didn't share the specifics of the incriminating evidence he found. But if you want to use it against the enemy, you'll still have to take several things into consideration.
Why? If we know where the place is, can't we just go storming in?
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against a mysterious and dangerous organization that's been in operation for decades. There's no telling what might be lying in wait at their headquarters. We also have no idea what kind of evidence we may be able to find inside, nor what people we may be able to capture. But a single visit to their headquarters would be tantamount to a formal declaration of war. The worst case would be that we leave empty-handed, but also open ourselves up to full retaliation.
Then, in that case, why not work with the Fontaine authorities?
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Linney's case. We have no idea just how thoroughly they may have been infiltrated.
That's true. Seems my father really had no choice, but things are different now. It should be a lot easier to prove the other side's guilt, now that we've connected Synth with the disappearances case.
You sound like you've put a lot of thought into this, Malus.
I am the butler, after all. I live but to serve the boss and Demoiselle's will. I've always been willing to take on any kind of risk for your sake. But considering my relative lack of ability, I've spent my time keeping secrets, performing basic investigations, and waiting for the right time to come.
Thank you for all of that, Malus. Have you discovered anything new in the past few years?
Let me think. One conclusion I came to was that the enemy must be quite familiar with Spina di Rosula, or at least have an informant planted here. When I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, I used to deliberately keep a few people in the dark and observe the reactions of the synth vendor. If the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders must be innocent. If the vendors packed up and fled, however, then someone must have given them the news. After several rounds of testing and investigative tracing, I've narrowed the suspect list down to 3 people. The first is Florent, Spina di Rosula's senior advisor.
Huh? Florent?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? He was one of the people Boss trusted the most, which also means that he was someone who understood Boss really well. Thanks to his position within Boss's innermost circle, he always knew our upcoming plans and could thus avoid capture this whole time. There's someone else like him too. Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabrières.
Uncle Marcel.
What is this confrérie?
It's a guild in Poisson. Boss helped it to grow to its current size and prominence. In the beginning, they were only reselling some daily goods, but now they're one of the richest guilds around, with a lot of business connections in the city.
So, like a sister organization of Spina di Rosula?
Yes, you can say that. When we were fighting against the synth dealers, they provided us with plenty of support. It's a bit difficult to imagine someone using their own money to hunt down themselves.
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between Spina di Rosula and the guards. Although the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, there are still many activities we have to report to the local authorities.
That's the name of my dad, by the way. The guy they were talking about before, he shares a name with my dad.
Since Thierry is always in the know about our current activities, he could theoretically always plan one step ahead.
I see. These are all people who I communicate with quite regularly. To think that the enemy we've been fighting against has been right next to me all along, among those I trust the most. It's almost too hard to believe.
If you want to investigate them, please take every precaution to not alert the quarry. Judging from our experience, the enemy is extremely cautious.
Of course. And thank you, Malus. You've provided us with a lot of great information.
You're too kind, my lady. I'm just doing my duty. And before I forget, proving Boss's innocence would also mean clearing him of blame in Jacques' death. After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. They still live in Poisson today. If it might help, you could also pay them a visit. I can make the necessary arrangements.
Oh, thank you so much, Malus. You really are the best.
A new case awaits, my dear partner.
Leave it to me.
I hope we can work together to uncover the truth and end this case once and for all.
Yay! Well, I think I'm gonna stop here because it's very late and I gotta go to bed, but holy shit. Wait. Oh god. What the hell is that? What's that language? I have no idea. I don't have that many primos, do I? I don't even have enough to buy. I haven't been doing my dailies at all. Not now. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stop. This is really interesting. I'm not gonna be able to play more for the rest of the week. So, oh shit, what the hell? Okay. I'm not gonna be able to play more for the rest of the week. I have a shit ton of stuff to do. So, I'm not gonna be there all weekend. I will play Genshin on Monday when I come back. I will continue this quest and hopefully finish it during the stream, and then I think I'm gonna do, like, if I still have time at the end, I'm gonna do some exploration and stuff. So yeah. Let me just see who I can raid and then I'll dip. Oh my god. Park Dad Bum is streaming. I hope raiding works today. I don't know why it wasn't working the other day. Okay, it seems to be working this time. I'm preparing the raid, but thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it, and I will see you on Monday. Bye!